Listen, 78% of people who move to Dallas, they say they're happy with the house that they bought. But guess how many say they're actually happy with how their life feels? That number's gonna be way less, right? And it's not because Dallas is confusing. It's because they started in the wrong place mentally. Guys, they jump straight to the neighborhood rankings, the price per square foot spreadsheets, or whatever suburb some YouTuber hyped up last year. And then once they get 6 months in, they're stuck in traffic, disconnected from everything that matters, and then quietly Googling how to break a lease or their mortgage without getting sued. And if that's your current search history, guys, you are not alone, right? I made this video because people are choosing Dallas neighborhoods completely backwards. And that goes for even the smartest of folks who are choosing to make this move. Because until you ask the right question, none of this actually works. It's not gonna be your house, it's not the commute, and it's not the best school districts. Nothing at all. All right, so here's how it usually goes. You fire up Google like it's gonna give you life answers, right? You type in, give me the best Dallas suburbs. You start to binge watch top 10 lists, anchoring all of that to school ratings and zooming in on the price per square foot like you're drafting a fantasy team. I mean, you think you're checking all your boxes, but you're really just circling the maze. Listen, I get it. You're making a massive move. You're trying to get your bearings, and when you don't know the city yet, rankings and lists, they just feel like a smart place to start. But that is gonna be the trick, and I don't mean like Money Mike on next Friday. I get it, guys. It feels like the right thing to do. It feels responsible. But that logic, it works for choosing a hotel, not for deciding where your kid's gonna grow up. Because when you start with what's the best neighborhood, you skip the real filter, the one that's based on your life, not somebody else's highlight reel. You see, you're gonna end up following the hype and then realize it's not really even your vibe. And if any of what I'm saying is hitting just a little close to home, guys, if you're halfway through your spreadsheet of the best suburbs and starting to feel stuck, that's exactly the kind of moment when people reach out to us. If this is your first time to the channel, I'm Mark with the Dallas Relocation Guide, and we help people buy, sell, and relocate right here to the Dallas Metroplex, baby. We dive into the area, show you all the hidden traps, and give you the clarity in the midst of all this chaos. You see, the real problem you're facing isn't lack, guys. It's the overwhelming amount of choice, and we can help you dial in on what fits your lifestyle. So if you're thinking about making a move, guys, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is down in the description below and pinned to the top of the chat. Listen, you don't realize it at first. You chose the house, you pop the champagne and unpack all those boxes, and it just all feels like progress. But then Tuesday hits. You're gonna be up before sunrise, racing to beat the traffic, right? Your kid eats breakfast in the back seat. You sit through 47 minutes of gridlock traffic just to get to work, and somehow that's the easy part of your day. Well, let's say you landed in Heartland or Forney, right? One of my favorite areas. Beautiful new homes, tons of space, quiet streets. On paper, it looks like the dream. But if you work in Uptown, your gym is in Deep Ellum, and your best friend just bought a townhome in Oak Cliff, suddenly your entire life feels like a cross-town errand. By the time you're home, the sun's already down, you pass 5 Buc-ee's billboards, but 0 people that you actually know. Groceries, forget about it. The gym, maybe next week sometime. And then the weekend hits, and even the fun starts to feel like work. We're talking about brunch with friends, that's an hour each way. A concert in Lower Greenville, you better leave during sound check to find parking. Meanwhile, the people who live closer in, let's say East Dallas or Lakewood, they're walking to the coffee shops, they're hopping on a scooter, and really grabbing dinner with the friends last minute. It's not just about geography, guys, it's about the lifestyle gravity. You see, a lot of people, they chase the square footage, they chase that proximity, and now you're realizing that you nailed the home tour, but you failed the Tuesday morning test and the Sunday afternoon test as well. The house, yeah, it's still great, the kitchen is still shiny, but the rhythm of your life, all off and out of control. You thought you were choosing between the city and the suburbs, but you were really choosing between spontaneity and structure, proximity and privacy, and access and space. And no one told you that until now, guys. Nothing is more frustrating than realizing you brought the right house in the wrong place. And the worst part about it all, it was all avoidable, all of it. You have to understand that it all starts with a different type of question. Listen, guys, you don't need a map, you need a mirror. Because the biggest mistake that I see is people trying to find a place before they understand their life, guys. They jump into all the price filters, all the school ratings, and all those hot suburbs without ever asking the only question that actually matters. How do I live, and what does that require? Listen, when people get this right, it's not because they chose the perfect zip code. It's because they understood the gravity of their own routine and stopped choosing a lifestyle that only looked good on paper. All right, so the question that you have to ask is, where do you actually spend your time? Not hypothetically, not ideally, in real life. Recently, here's a client of mine. They worked right here in downtown Dallas, and their spouse, they worked up in Plano. And their daughter went to preschool over in Lake Highlands. But they ended up buying down in Midlothian because it felt peaceful, new, and affordable. They got the big home, they got the 3-car garage, the quiet neighborhood, and within a month, they were spending 10 hours a week in the car. That dream house, it became a logistical nightmare. They ended up missing daycare pickups, grocery runs. That became 90 minutes round trip. And then Friday nights, they were too tired to even go out. And then on the flip side, I've seen a couple in Lakewood with a much smaller home, but everything they do was within 15 minutes. Their work, their gym, their friends, their parks, their schools, all of it. Less house, but a lot more life. You see, your calendar is going to tell you that truth that your house listing doesn't. It's not just about where you live, guys. It's how far your life is stretched out once you're there. Man, additionally, Dallas looks smooth on the map until you hit the road, guys. Let's say your job is over in Legacy West and you fall in love with the builder home in Roy City. Your Google Maps, that says 39 minutes, but that's at 2 a.m. Let's try that at 7:30 a.m. and now it's 68 minutes to get over there, and that's before construction, school zones, and the weather. Guys, this city punishes the wrong direction at the wrong time. And I've seen people fall into this trap so many times, buying out in Forney while working near Las Colinas, thinking I'm gonna make it work. And then 2 months later, they're listening to audiobooks about the burnout while inching along on 635, wondering why they never see daylight. Guys, it's not about the mileage, guys. It's about the time math. Listen, your future self will trade the granite countertops for 30 minutes of extra sanity every single time. All right, so let's talk about the real you after work, guys. Do you want the option to be able to text a friend at 5:45 and be sitting on the patio by 6:15? Or do you need your space, your backyard, and your recharge time? Listen, someone in Uptown might love grabbing drinks, hitting the Katy Trail, or walking a brunch, right? But someone in Rockwall, they may want to garden, grill, and host their own space without seeing neighbors unless they really wanted to. The mistake happens when you choose based on aesthetics and not the energy. Guys, I've had clients that buy up a Solana thinking they love the quiet, right? And then they realize they feel way too cut off. And then I've had others who pick Lower Greenville for that walkability piece, only to find the constant activity draining their 2 young kids. Guys, you're not just buying a home, right? You're buying the rhythm of the city. And if that rhythm doesn't match your social energy, every day starts to feel just a little off. I mean, let's be honest. People shop for the life that they want, not the life that they already have, right? I've seen newly married couples with no kids stretch their budget for a 5-bedroom up in Prosper because it made sense long term. Now, the real problem with all of that is their present reality is remote jobs, dog walks, and craving that community piece. Instead of actually enjoying their life now, they're stuck maintaining a space they don't even need yet, 45 minutes from everybody that they know. Now, when we're talking about on the flip side, I've worked with young families in East Dallas who tried to do the urban cool with the strollers and the tired SUV. Then it turns out hauling groceries up a flight of stairs after daycare pickup is not the vibe they thought it would be. Look, buying for your future self, it sounds wise until it creates friction for your current self. You want to choose a home that fits your life for the next 3 to 5 years, not the fantasy from your vision board. All right, but here's the boss mode reframe that you really need to think about, guys. Don't start with the neighborhoods. Start with your real non-Instagram type of lifestyle. You got to figure out where your time goes, what drains you, what gives you your energy back. Once you see the patterns clearly, guys, the right places stop being a mystery. They start feeling very, very obvious. Honestly, the biggest problem that we've seen our clients have is the internet makes things worse, guys. It starts off so innocent. You type the best places to live in Dallas into Google, a couple of suburb rankings pop up, you skim an article on Frisco, watch a video with B-roll full of families walking dogs and eating tacos. Maybe you even hit up a Reddit thread where someone says McKinney or bust, right? And it feels like progress. You got all these tabs open, you're comparing crime maps, right? You're watching TikToks from realtors and influencers who just moved here themselves. It feels like you're getting somewhere, but you're not. What you're building is a story that looks good from the outside, but might not match the way you actually live on the inside. Because the internet, it's built to rank and not to understand you, right? It's gonna show you those school scores, the median prices, and those zip code trends. It gives you that surface level certainty. But it can't tell you what it feels like to be stuck in traffic at 520 on 75 South, trying to get home from work in Plano to your new build in Forney. It doesn't show you what it's like to live in a beautiful master plan community where every night feels a little too quiet and a little too far. It doesn't warn you that the townhome you loved in Deep Ellum might feel like a club scene when you're trying to get your kid to sleep at 9 p.m. I've had clients that moved to South Lake because the schools are ranked so high, only to realize that everything they actually cared about was over in Richardson. They didn't move to the wrong place, they followed the wrong process. Because here's what the internet can tell you, guys. Where people are clicking, where people are moving, what got the most engagement on the blog post written by someone in another state. But here's what it can't tell you. Where people are happy, where their lives actually work, and where they're thriving, not just surviving in a bigger house with a longer drive. And until you felt that difference between what looks ideal and what feels aligned, the data will lie to you every single time. It'll keep you shopping when you should be reflecting. It'll keep you comparing square footage when what you really need to understand is your daily rhythm, guys. The internet helps you build a short list, but if your starting point is off, that list becomes a liability and not a strategy. And this is the part that nobody talks about with these top 10 lists, guys. You didn't just get bad advice. You got misled by the entire way the game is actually played. And the only fix is really to start that thing all the way over. All right, so let's stop for a second, guys, because if this video has really done its job, you're probably starting to realize you don't need help picking a neighborhood. You need help understanding what kind of life you're actually trying to build here. And that's the step most people really skip, guys. They jump into the maps, the price filters, all the builder tours, and wonder why everything feels so overwhelming or off, right? But when people get this right, really right, guys, it's not because they found a hidden gem or nailed the perfect zip code. It's because they understood their own patterns first. Where will all your time go on a random Tuesday? What's gonna drain you without you even noticing it? What gives you your energy back? How close or far do you want to be from people who matter the most to you? What does that weekend you want that the workday you forgets about? These are going to be the questions that build the foundations, guys. These are the filters that actually matter. Everything else is just noise. So no, you're not ready to choose a neighborhood quite yet, guys. And that's a good thing, because now you're not rushing toward the wrong decision. You're slowing down just enough to make the right one. The next step isn't searching for homes. It's getting crystal clear on what the day-to-day life looks like that you need to feel. Once you know all of that, the map starts to make sense every single time. And the right neighborhood doesn't need you to be sold, guys. It starts feeling very obvious. And hey, if you're still here, it means something probably has shifted in your mindset, right? Maybe you realized the way you were searching wasn't wrong, just incomplete. Maybe this gave you more insights that make you feel like, okay, now I know how to really go at this proactively. Either way, you're not just collecting zip codes anymore, guys. You're actually starting to design your life the way you want it. And that's where things get really good. Most people try to shortcut this part, and that's the problem. Like I say, I have to reel people in every single time. They jump to the listings and rankings before they ever slow down enough to ask what alignment even means for them. But you didn't do that. You stayed here, you listened, and you questioned the process. That already puts you ahead in my book. So when you're ready to take that next step, guys, not to pick a place, but to actually figure out what fits you and your lifestyle, just reach out. We're here, guys, seriously. You don't have to have the perfect timing or a plan mapped out, right? People reach out to me and my team all the time just to talk it through. It's no pressure at all. Just a real conversation about what life here could look like based on how you actually live. And listen, if you're ready to keep learning more about the Dallas Metroplex and it's not quite time to hop on a call, you may want to see the deep dive in all the neighborhoods, where the hot new construction homes are, and what's actually shaping the future of this city. I've got a playlist that you can binge watch like Netflix, and all you got to do is click right there.